Hey guys, Ethan here with Archangel Tactical Concepts. I am going to be reviewing this trigger shoe by Bull Moose Tactical. They're based out of Maine, so shout out to them. I appreciate them for being innovative and being homegrown in my area of New England. I do not have any relationship with Bull Moose Tactical. Possibly I will after this. But this is their flagship product. It is basically just a flat replacement trigger shoe for your AR-15 standard mil-spec trigger system. Now, this is just the shoe. They do come with springs if you want to opt for that. I didn't want the springs. I wanted a completely mil-spec trigger except for the shoe because I hate curved triggers. So I wanted this flat option, and basically this is just a drop-in flat option. Now, one thing I did is I opted for you'll notice the difference in color, where the rest of this is some kind of powder coating on the stainless steel trigger. I opted for the contact points here and here to be polished, and it seems like they did a pretty good job. Let's see if I can get that in focus a little bit better. It looks pretty stinking nice. They did a good job. Something that I think is pretty cool is not only is it a flat trigger, but it seems to have a little bit of a forward angling down there, which I think should be pretty neat and help with the leverage to make the overall feel of the trigger pull a lot shorter than it actually is because it's angled forward like that. So we'll see. Something I do like is that all these edges, if I can get it in focus here, all these edges are rounded. There we go. Has a nice round edge, so there's no sharp contact points contacting your finger. So it looks pretty nice. I'm pretty excited. We're going to throw it into my AR lower, and then we'll get back to you once it's in. Alright, so here it is installed. Now, it is installed on a Colt AR-15A3, as you can see, so it is mil-spec as mil-spec can get, with the exception of this ambidextrous mag release there. So, as in all mil-spec triggers, this is a single-stage mil-spec trigger with the Bull Moose Tactical trigger shoe installed. You can see there's going to be, let's get this perfectly in line with the camera there. It's going to be a little bit of take up, even though it's a single stage, and that's just kind of the grit of the surfaces before the break. See that little bit of pre-travel kind of right at what would be considered the wall, and there's the break. So definitely a vast improvement over the mil-spec trigger shoe, not just in feel, but that pre-travel engagement. A little bit of pre-travel, a little more pre-travel at the wall and the break. Reset is nice and strong. This is, even though the Bull Moose Tactical trigger has the polished contact surfaces, there's still a bunch of grit in there, and it just feels, I mean, gritty is the best word for it. Just kind of like sandpaper rubbing on sandpaper. So definitely improves the feel of the trigger on your finger. I love that. And I love how towards the bottom of it, it's slightly angled forward. That actually provides a lot. And one thing that I really like too is that this is not short. it goes almost all the way down to the bottom of the trigger guard there, which I like because I tend to have such a grip on it that my finger rides really low, and if the trigger shoe itself is really short, I always kind of getting part of the pad of my finger on the very edge of that, and eventually it just kind of wears out and blisters. But with this, because it's so long and goes all the way to the bottom of the trigger guard, I don't have that problem. So that's really nice. I am assuming that with the combination of their reduced power springs and lightened hammer, that this would be, all that grit and take up would be either reduced or eliminated greatly. The trigger, obviously I didn't do anything with the springs, it's still the milspec springs, so it's still a heavy trigger, you know, it's probably a 7-8 pound trigger, but just by throwing this shoe on it, it feels a lot better. Now, it's not a miracle, it's not like a Timney trigger or a Rise Armament single stage trigger, anything like that, because you still have all the other internal components that are milspec and gritty. However, this shoe itself feels really, really good. It honestly just makes you want to shoot it, makes you want to dry fire it over and over. So there you have it. Bull Moose Tactical, flat trigger. Definitely worth the 30-35 bucks for it, for this upgrade. And who knows, maybe they'll send me their lightened springs and hammer, and I can do a full review on that and take it out the range and compare it side by side with some other really well-known single stage triggers. For now, we're out. Thanks.